So I wanted to tell a quick story. Now, when I was younger, my mom would ask me, um, you know, what kind of haircut do you want when we would go to get my haircut? And for a long time, it was pretty much the same answer, just uh, a trim. It's all I was comfortable with. And I was around 6 or 7, and my mom's perspective was, it's hair. It'll grow, so you can give your kid a little bit of freedom in what they want to do with their hair. Seemingly maybe one of our first forms of real self-expression, other than maybe picking clothing. And you're not able to buy your own clothing when you're that young. You're just kind of given what you're given. um, and at one point I thought to myself, at about 7, when she asked me, what would you like your haircut to be? And I said I'd like it cut short like a boy. Those are my words. I don't really remember uh, saying it any differently. I don't really remember why. Um, I remember my mom waiting to ask me again. And she asked me again once I was, in the chair. Well, what would you like your haircut to be? And I said short like a boy. And the hairstylist is there too. And she goes, you know what? If you still want it next time, you can do it. But this time, let's just do a trim. Okay. So I get into the chair with the hairstylist, and we're at the mall. We're at the local mall at one of the hair salons there. So we're not particularly fussy about which hairstylist we get, right? We're at the mall. I always get a different person. It's probably more of a cost thing, and uh, you know what's easy to get to. So here we are. I'm 7 years old. I'm getting a haircut with my mom at the mall. I've asked for my hair to be cut short like a boy, and I've been told, next time, if you still want it, you can get it. And I believe my mom, and I did go on to get my hair cut short the next time. So the promise was kept. But there is another story that I find to be pretty important about a moment I had getting my hair cut. There's very few moments as a kid, I think, where you get other adults in your life to like have conversations with. You've got your teachers, maybe your parents' friends, and the occasional forced conversation with a hairstylist. You're kind of sitting in the chair trying to make conversation. Now, making conversation with someone who's about 7 looks a lot different than maybe getting your haircut nowadays, which can be a really nice opportunity actually to chat and get an outside perspective on your life or whatever. Sometimes haircuts are like little therapy sessions. Anyone who does hair would know that. And with all due respect about um, cosmetics, doing hair, there's levels to any profession. You could be the introductory level, you could have, you know, 10 of your own clients, 20, 30. You could be running your own salon and have stylists working for you. There is levels to every career, okay? So when we're talking about, you know, 30 years ago, someone who's working as a stylist taking walk-ins at the mall, we can all agree that person's probably closer to the very like introductory level of their career, which happens to be hairstyling. Okay? Little context about who 7-year-old me was talking to, an adult. So when you're young, these people seem to have a lot more knowledge than you, and the things they say to you sometimes can stick with you. And I'm going to give you a little example of this. So, getting my hair cut, being asked a few questions, right? We're having this little conversation, and she asked me, what do you want to do when you grow up? Classic question. Hard to make conversation with a kid again, but a classic question. And, we're not always given a lot of options, especially when I was younger. Most of the careers that exist now were never even spoken of. So it's really an interesting question to be asking a kid. Um, and we know that kids like to dream. They don't really have any, limiting beliefs from the world yet. They're very, hopefully, still very, open to dreaming about what their life could be, which is really cool. And when she asked me, like, what do you want to be when you grow up? At the time, I was really invested in Egypt and just Egyptian culture. I was really into reading all the books and getting my hands on really anything Egypt related because it felt like discovering unknown things about the world. That's really what it came down to. And it's something that I'm still very interested in, is just discovering new things that we don't know about the world yet. And, that was still true then. And as that 7-year old, when I said I'd like to be an archaeologist, because to me, that's how those were the people that uncovered these secrets, these cool unknown things about the world. And so I said I want to be an archaeologist. And my stylist said to me, I think they've actually found most of the, like, there's not a lot to uncover anymore. Like, they found a lot of stuff. Like, I don't know if there'll really be anything left to find. Uh, and I remember thinking that, what a shame, because we still have not discovered nearly, I don't think we've even touched, you know, some of the knowledge that is, been covered up over time, through various means, whether it's just through nature and, civilizations buried underground or what we don't know about the ocean. Like, just accept that we don't know a lot, and we're still learning and uncovering stuff, and that's cool. But at the time, I'm being told that my dream, what do you want to be when you grow up? That's like your mini dream as a kid, to be an archaeologist, was a little bit silly, and it stuck with me. Now, knowing what I know now, it's almost a little bit laughable. What I started the conversation by saying that there's levels to every career. So, assuming that this person's dream is to be in hair and styling, and knowing that they're probably still at their introductory level of their career, that can be frustrating. But to then put those beliefs, or to just limit the thinking and the dreaming of a kid, I mean, she might not even have meant to have done that. She might have just said it as an offhanded thought, like, not knowing or just saying, but it actually changed my mind a little bit as a kid. I was like, oh, well, if what I want to do is stupid or silly, or like no one's going to be able to do it, like there's nothing to find, then why am I so invested in that? Why do I think that that's so cool? Um, and that hurt my feelings. I didn't say that it hurt my feelings. I didn't really say, anything, but I was hurt by that, and it stuck with me. And, as you get older, you kind of experience these things as well. Like, oh, I want to do this, or I think this is possible, or look at that, that looks so cool. And people will just tell you that that's not possible, or that you can't, or that it would be hard, or how are you going to do that? And some of those people will love you. That's going to be the hardest part. Some of those people are going to be like your mom, your dad, your best friend, your fiance, whatever it is. Some of those people are going to be really close to you, and they're not going to understand maybe your passion in life, or what you want to pursue, or where you think you're going to get uh, in a certain area. You know, you see yourself in a vision for something and you want to go for it. You're going to meet resistance. That's kind of just a little bit what life is about, because not everyone's going to see what you see for yourself. You know you. That's where you got to get to. You know yourself. Be self assured enough to know, actually, no, I do want to go do this thing. So that when you're met with resistance, because you know it's going to come, you're just like, no, I want to do this, so I'm going to go do it. And that never became more true uh, until I knew I needed to transition. I knew it was going to only help benefit my life because of how I had been masking certain things, and how I had been really exhibiting behaviors in my life that were just chaotic. And I knew that this was the right move for me after I did a lot of research and watching. And it when you have a deep knowingness that you need to follow something, you need to listen to that. You need to find discernment, quietly listening to yourself, balancing out thoughts. You have to really take all these things into consideration. And if you know you're going to be met with resistance, meaning in this example, me transitioning was, I knew it was going to be met with some sort of resistance, whether it was from, my mom or dad, or just from society in general. I mean, I knew that was coming, but you never know how close it can come from people's limited thoughts. They just don't know what's possible, or they don't maybe know that you know what's best for yourself. Sometimes that's especially comes from parents, because they've raised you, And in this case, I just needed a little bit more educational tools in my tool belt to kind of help people, get to where I was at with myself. I know this is right. Here's what I've looked at. Here's what I know. Here's what I'm going to do about it. And I shift gears pretty quickly once I've done enough, self thought and self discernment about something to go for it. And I've definitely gotten better at it throughout the years. But this knowingness of transitioning, making this body possible for my mental and spirit space to feel the best it can feel in this world that we've got, which is physical. Sometimes you just got to go for it, knowing, we're seeing it now, even in law, my American friends. The resistance is coming against just self expression. Um, we need to be strong. Resist, we know it's been met with resistance throughout life. Queerness has existed throughout life. We're strong. We have some sort of strength and from our ancestry queerness to kind of like help us. At least that's how I choose to look at it, and that's what helps me. What I want to say is that I didn't think I would be here. I'm 33 years old. I started my transition in 2011, and a lot has happened since. And I just really can't believe that I'm in this place, and I feel really blessed, and I feel like I've found a path that's good for me and is a good fit for me. I feel like I have much more you know, balance and healthy structure in my life than I ever have before. I have removed myself completely from really just bullshit. Um, and it feels really good. Um, so I'm gonna keep chatting and giving you little stories from my life, and hopefully we can connect together on something. And I'm not just talking into the abyss. Take care.